Hey guys, welcome back. BDC Gedar here, and today we're going to be doing something a lot different.
This is your chance to have a say in part of the direction of our channel. So we've had a lot of comments about the quality of our video, and we know that. We've been doing this for a long time. And what we thought we'd do is revisit Screen Recorder Pro as an option, so an onboard software option for recording gameplay. What you're looking at now is what you typically see on our channel, which is our device fed to our TV with a camera on a tripod recording off the TV. The advantages: sound is good. It's a ghetto kind of low-tech, high-tech solution. It's relatively easy for us to do, and you can still get relatively good high def, but you get all the artifact of recording digitally a TV screen, so you get a lot of the moire.
Yeah, and the higher quality that you're recording at, as far as focus, the more of that you get.
So this is, we're going to use Screen Recorder with 5 different settings, preset options for our device, and we're going to give you a chance to vote. So in the comments, if we're doing this right, we're not going to be around. This will give you a couple weeks to do some of your voting. We'll have 5 comments, or well, 6 really, for the options, right? The 5 options for the settings in Screen Recorder, or what you're seeing now, which is our usual relative low quality video. So it's not about the fights, which we're going to do anyways, but it's about the recording option.
Yeah, so you'll just vote based off of audio and visual quality, whichever one you think is overall best. So anyways, we'll cut to the first video recording option.
Okay, so this is our first option. This is 800 by 480 in terms of the picture quality, and it's about 26 frames per second. According to Screen Recorder Pro, this is 93% stable. I don't even know what that means. Maybe that's a chance that it'll not crash. But I expect the individual picture quality is going to be poor, but the movement and the flow is going to look okay.
Yeah, I think ever so slightly better than our current setup.
The real question to me is what the audio is going to be like.
Yeah, so audio quality is going to be a factor, and picture quality is definitely going to go down if you're viewing it on larger resolution screens.
So what it's got is a onboard. It records. It can't use the internal mic to record directly from the device. So it's got the external mic that's recording everything. So it's got to have it picking up the sound plus us. Ooh. And that's actually not a bad fight because all the splash damage from League of Assassins Knives and on Special 1 meant he came in with no health, so I didn't figure his passive, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
Alright, so that was option number 1. Maybe when we put it together, we'll have a caption to indicate what's there. So that was 800 by 480, 26 frames per second. I don't think the audio is going to change at all from one to the next.
So this is the second option. This has even lower resolution. That's 480 by 280. But it's 30 frames per second and 97% stable, whatever that means.
I wonder if maybe the stability is a reflection of how much it's taxing the processor. So the higher stability overall would mean like lower quality, like as a balance between, like, you know, because you got to combine the density, the detail of the picture against the frame rate. So higher frame rate, more processor. Bigger picture, also more processor, right?
Yeah, so overall, I'm just going to be honest here. We'll have to see how it turns out, but I'm not entirely convinced that a screen recorder is actually the right option. It would be great if it was. It would be like if we could get something just as good quality picture, just as good quality sound, but we don't have to be tethered to the same area as much. But from what I've seen of it so far, especially with the capabilities of our device, like when we tried it earlier, unfortunately it wasn't quite as good. So we'll have to see.
That was a mistake. That was the thing, like, what I should have been doing with Raven was to bring, I mean, that's the whole point of having containment. So, you see there? That's his job. Take care of everything. And I tagged in the wrong guy.
This is going to be unfortunate. Damage over time is going to kill us.
Well, as long as I get it before the passive triggers, then I'm okay. There we go. That was good.
Try to keep up.
So there we go. That was option 2.
So the lowest density of the picture, but also the highest frame rate.
So I think this one's probably unlikely because I think there's a decent percentage of people that watch us on computers and would need higher higher resolution to watch us comfortably. But I don't know.
Quite true.
This is the third setting, 1280 by 768.
So the highest resolution that we're going to actually show you.
And the lowest frames, it's only 17 frames per second.
So pretty pictures, jerky action, I think. The only thing going for it is that it's got the 89% stability, so maybe this is sort of the highest demand on the CPU.
Yeah, and this and the next one I think are probably the only two that as a YouTube watcher on a computer that I would be kind of okay with as far as video quality for me personally. But again, I don't want to pass any judgment. It's whatever at the end of the day that you guys are mostly voting for is the best.
Begin.
I guess this is a good time to say too. You don't need to dislike the comments that if there's one that you don't like, but if you would like instead, you can like the comments that you want to vote for, and then comment on the one saying I don't think this one's as good if you don't like it. That way we can have a good idea of the distribution of both positive and negative feedback for each of the various types, right?
I'm almost noticing now that it's already a little bit jerky. Oops.
Yeah, it definitely appears to be lagging a little bit, and maybe even frame locking some, potentially.
This would be a bad way to illustrate part of the can actually run into some of the firefights.
That would be really unfortunate. I think that's okay.
Oh yeah, I think we're okay now.
We did 2 swaps, right?
Exactly. Which is done.
There we go.
Okay, so that was option number
3.
1280 by 768 resolution, 17 frames per second, and the lowest stability. Alright.
I'm interested to see how audio quality turns out.
Yeah, I wonder if it'll be affected by the video quality too.
Something where this is option 4, so this is 1200 by 720 for screen resolution. Only one more frame per second, 18 FPS, but it goes all the way up to a 94% stability.
Yeah, actually, you know what? I think this in the first one, as far as that balance between stability, it's not the highest, it's not the lowest, it's that in between. Not the lowest frame rate, a little bit better resolution than number 1. I think these two are probably going to be the likely winners.
1 and 4, you think?
I think so. I mean, some people will maybe have an aesthetic preference.
Well, I think for me, 3 and 4 personally are the only one. Watching videos on any large screen at a really low resolution, in my opinion, is just not really viable.
Yeah, but you know what though? I think the action is going to matter to be not so jerky.
Which is why I think, unfortunately, that this is going to be potentially unsuccessful in changing the way we do things. I think we probably have with our current setup, we definitely have a good enough setup, and I think for a lot of people, the pros of any of these are going to be outweighed by the cons of them. But this is why we're letting you guys pick, because at the end of the day, we only know what we think will be good, and obviously you've heard we don't even have the same opinion about that, right? So because I think our normal camera setup is 24 frames per second, if I'm correct.
Ooh, that was a mistake.
It might be more, but that tends to be around standard.
That makes sense. I mean, it's sort of a myth, right, in terms of how many frames per second people can see. But it's generally accepted that for, I think, high def, they go, like, for film, it's 24 frames per second.
Yeah. But I think you can tell, like, a tiny amount, but for me, anything 60 or higher, then that's from a game's standpoint, right?
Yeah.
Is fine with me.
Okay, so that was option number 4. Relatively low frame rate, 18 frames per second, high resolution, 1200 by 720. And after this, we're going to have one more. I like that monkey.
Detective. And then it's the Shamrocks.
The Lucky Charms?
4-leaf clovers, one of those two, I don't. And last, but we won't be able to tell if it's leased until afterwards, is option 5, which is 720 by 432, and it's 28 frames per second with a whopping 98% stability, if that number actually means anything.
Yeah. So this is probably, it's only 2 frames less than number 2, and it's a bit better resolution. It seems like it's significantly more, but it's hard to tell. I don't know how to look. It's just bigger numbers.
Yeah.
Math,
I think 28 frames per second is definitely smooth enough. Mm-hmm. It's just whether the resolution is enough, and I think probably that's what it's going to end up coming down to.
So it's interesting. They're using somebody's got the assassin gear.
Oh, nice.
Who's got it? I always forget. You know what? I start finding out as soon as I see it, I know that I need to stay away from it, but then I forget. Ooh, that was nice and responsive. Oh my god, fine.
Yeah, for the 98% stability, we're definitely experiencing less lag than some of the other ones.
Oh yeah, that's even playing is suited, right?
Yeah.
And doing the responsive. Good night. Well, maybe not.
So there we go. We'll go back to our normal recording setup for the outro.
It wants to, but it doesn't want to crash on us. Alright, so let's see how much we got.
It's entirely possible that the audio quality of all the videos up to now has just been totally awful, and that'll just make the decision for us. If you can't hear what we're saying in any of the settings, don't vote for that one.
No kidding.
Unless that's preferable. Hopefully not. Okay, so this is going to be the conclusion of the video. Just to recap, vote on the 5 comments that'll be in the comment section. 6 comments. For either the 5 options or the way that we're currently doing it. And you're going to want to do that by liking a comment. Like will instruct you in the comments themselves to vote for it. And then commenting saying, I don't like this option very much as a vote against it. So anyways, thanks so much for watching. If you want to vote, we really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys next time. Komoda.